Hi and welcome to Swissco's Daily Market Talk. It's Tuesday, January 28th. The week kicked off with a substantial sell-off of the Western AI-related stocks, from chip makers to nuclear stocks, and a swift shift toward the safer assets. But the sell-off of yesterday was certainly exaggerated and could eventually provide some interesting entry opportunities for many investors out there that are still looking to take part of the rally. So I don't know for you, but for many, yesterday was all about discovering the Chinese version of ChatGPT called DeepSeek, and also watching the US markets get hammered by the news of DeepSeek. To be perfectly honest with you, it didn't feel disruptive to me. It did feel disruptive to some people, but not to me, because DeepSeek actually mirrors ChatGPT, which already provided that wow effect 2 years ago. And to be honest, when you ask some questions that are sensitive to the Chinese Communist Party regime, well, the DeepSeek's chatbot simply avoids the question by proposing to talk about something else. So it is not exactly what you would expect it to be, or it's not exactly the answers that you would expect to get from ChatGPT sometimes, but it's nice. It will rival the US chatbots to the extent that the Chinese research websites or research engines rival the Western peers. But besides that, what's interesting about DeepSeek is the fact that the company claims to have built it with cheaper and less advanced chips. And the latter actually significantly shifts the cost and return on investment outlook for AI investments. That could be a significant movement and significant good for the development and broader adoption of AI. But that also melts the revenue outlook for the advanced chip makers, mind you. And this is exactly the reason why we saw $1 trillion worth of sell-off in US equity markets at yesterday's trading session on DeepSeek News. So, in numbers, Nvidia tanked nearly 17% yesterday and erased more than $500 billion in market cap by itself in one single session. It was apparently the biggest single stock fall of all times. But hey, in the list of the top 10 biggest single stock sell-offs of the human history, well, you can count the name of Nvidia about 8 times, guys. 8 out of 10, to give you just a meager idea of how inflated the stock prices probably are and how much speculative money is sitting out there. But anyway, AMD plunged more than 6% yesterday. Intel, which actually made a positive attempt at the open on hope that its less advanced chips than Nvidia's could maybe replace the Nvidia's, well, ended up losing more than 2.5%, and ASML fell 7% in Europe. And overall, well, Nasdaq 100 lost nearly 3% on Monday's trading session. VanEck Semiconductor ETF nosedived almost 10% yesterday, and Global X Uranium ETF, well, it tanked more than 11%. So it was a rough day, to say the least. Interestingly, however, the names that are actually said to be linked to DeepSeek climbed, but the gains there remained very limited compared to the sell-off that we saw in the US technology stocks. iFlyTek, for example, gained less than 2% yesterday, while Nasdaq's Golden Dragon China Index was barely up by 0.10%. So capital didn't move from the US technology to Chinese technology stocks yesterday. It rather moved from technology toward safe havens. So the US yields fell. The Swiss franc rallied, but gold couldn't really benefit from the market panic of yesterday, and that was really surprising. But the British FTSE 100 index, on the other hand, gave, well, pretty much no reaction whatsoever to the technology rout of yesterday, highlighting the very small exposure of the British big caps to the technology, which obviously is a bit disquieting in the medium to long run, but could be interesting in case of a deeper technology sell-off in the short run for protecting yourself against, well, a technology meltdown. Now, coming back to the meltdown, I believe that yesterday's AI sell-off was overdone and the futures look better this morning at the time I'm talking here, with Nasdaq futures even up by 0.20%. Now, looking broadly to what's being talked about, there are reports out there praising DeepSeek's performance. Some experts actually say that it is impressive. Other experts say that it is disruptive. And Nvidia's spokesperson himself said that the company, DeepSeek, came up with something excellent. But excellent using a lot of Nvidia's less advanced chips. But beyond the fact that the company use less advanced chips from, well, Nvidia, still Nvidia, to build this model, this performant model, there are still a lot of unanswered questions out there about DeepSeek. And these questions include whether DeepSeek's model could be integrated and used by broader applications, and whether the company really built a model for less than 6 million US dollars, whereas the price mark of the AI models that are built in the US will reach several hundreds of $millions. And last but not least, well, DeepSeek looks like it made something that already existed for a cheaper price. So it has an imitation of ChatGPT for a cheaper price. But it did not come up with an end product that did not exist before. And I'm saying it looks like because on my early conversations with the DeepSeek's chatbots were, well, not really concluding. Mind you, I really find that ChatGPT performs better. But I'm not a technology expert, so I'm also reading all the reports out there about how other people feel about it. So it's quite mixed. But if DeepSeek successfully does what it says it does, so bring equal performance on AI models for a cheaper price, it will clearly help the Chinese local players and all size companies around the world, including the EM markets that have limited budgets to integrate these new AI models into their daily lives. It's going to make everything better and more achievable. So the latter will increase the demand for less advanced chips than Nvidia's best performing chips, but it will increase demand for chips still. And it will even increase demand for Nvidia's less expensive chips. So that's my first conclusion of yesterday. And in this context, note that we were actually already pointing at a growing window of opportunity for alternative and cheaper chip makers, like AMD, for example. And I'm not saying that the stock price is cheap, but their chips are cheaper. And this was in the process of wider adoption of AI models with cheaper chips. Remember that? Well, we now have a stronger conviction for this view. Many companies out there, many companies that are not technology giants will be, quite happy to have cheaper chips as long as their AI models perform the basic tasks that will help these companies increase their productivity levels and reduce their costs. And if they could do it at a reasonable price, well, why not do it? But these companies are not necessarily aiming for disruptive technology advances. So yesterday's AI sell-off could eventually move capital around a little bit and even benefit to the makers of cheaper and alternative chips that could appeal to a larger client base around the world than only the US big technology companies with deep pockets. And what about Nvidia specifically? Well, we should not forget that Nvidia sells premium chips to the world's biggest and most advanced technology companies that actually have all the interest in the world to buy these most premium and most advanced chips to protect and increase their technological advance and also eventually come up with disruptive innovations. So for these specific companies, technology companies, it is not only about increasing their productivity levels and cutting costs, right? It is also about innovating and be first to innovate. Therefore, one, all of a sudden, this high concentration of big technology clients in Nvidia's client book, where, remember, the big technology clients actually accounted for more than 50% of Nvidia's revenue in the third quarter of last year. Well, that high concentration all of a sudden looks like it could be an advantage to weather a potential demand shock for Nvidia's advanced chips. Two, Well, DeepSeek will hardly disrupt the US technological advance and the US technology's dominance in the AI sector, because true technology dominance requires breakthrough in hardware, breakthroughs in software, and also infrastructure. And we don't necessarily see a revolutionary advance from DeepSeek's AI model. It just looks like ChatGPT. And three, the big technologies' envy's ambition to build their own chips is, in my opinion, a bigger threat to Nvidia's short-term revenue than an increased demand for cheaper chips from the companies that are not necessarily looking to be the first one of their sectors in terms of technology. So to sum it up, the next big leap in AI is expected to be these AI agents capable of executing a series of tasks in a specific order. And the race to achieve this milestone in AI is on, and it will be very fascinating to see who gets there first. But one thing is clear to me, well, progress is obviously maximized with top performing chips rather than average ones. After all, while a Peugeot, a nice good old Peugeot, will get you from point A to a point B, a Ferrari will get you there much faster. So this is all for today. I'm İpek Özkardeşkaya, and thank you for joining me, and thank you for all your beautiful and supportive comments. I hope this episode of Market Talk has been helpful and it has been insightful to you. So please do not hesitate to leave your comments, your reactions, and your questions below, as usual. Follow us on Instagram, on X, and on LinkedIn for regular market updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily market comments. And please don't forget to hit the like button on these videos to let us know that you enjoy them. So I will meet you again tomorrow. And until then, good day trading.